सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। One of the important aspects of human life is religion. We cannot conceive of a human culture minus religion. See, and every religion in the world has few things common and few things unique. You see, there are few dimensions very common, exactly like all the cuisines of India has something in common, right? Indian cuisines means immediately we'll think of what? Spicy, sir. Right? Italian, we say, no, there is. But then pasta is different from pizza. Yeah. Correct? No. You can't order pizza and the person brings pasta, you are not going to eat that. You'll say, no, I don't want that. I've asked for pizza. Same way. Every religion has certain dimensions common, certain dimensions different, unique. Then it's interesting to see that our Hindu religion has a very unique and interesting combination. You see, I would say there are three concepts I'll give you, which is exclusive only for Hindu religion. No other religion in the world has that. Say, for example, love. You should love everybody. It's common. Every religion says that. There's no religion which says don't love anybody. There's no religious master has ever said that. Unless we create a new religion like that. No. There's no such thing. We say everybody should love everyone. Similarly, you should have self-control. You should think of the higher, serve, sacrifice. All these things were common. But then in the philosophical dimension, there are certain uniqueness we have. Like even inside one religion itself, you take the philosophical systems. Vedanta is very different. Sankhya Yoga is very different. Vaiseshika is different. Nyaya is different. Yoga is different. And inside Vedanta itself, we have two Vedantas, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, Vedic philosophy if you take. And then in Uttara Mimamsa, which is what we call as Vedanta, that itself has got Advaita, then we have Dvaita, then we have Vasishtha Dvaita, and then we have Sutta Dvaita, Dvaita Advaita, so many systems are there. And then we have this Kashmiri Saivism, Saiva Siddhanta of South India, very different. It's all there. But then when you put all these things together as one system, we find these three concepts absolutely unique to Hindu religion, which is not there in any other religion. First concept, I'll give you the terms, then we will explain. Right. One is the idea of yajna, which we saw in the last class. Fire worship is there. Even Parsis, they worship fire. See, fire is worshipped. But then there is no concept of yajna, right? Havan, which is popularly known today. The Vedic term is yajna. Another one we have is avatara. Only in Hindu religion we have this concept of avatar. You see, no other religion has this avatar concept. You see, we claim Buddha as avatar of Vishnu. Buddhism doesn't claim as, avatar of Vishnu. You see, that's our, Christ is not avatar of Father in heaven. He is the Son. You see, Father himself does not come. He comes as, he sends his Son actually. You see. Nada?
They call him Son of God, God and the Holy Ghost.
Sorry, Son of?
Son of God, they call him God also, they call him the Holy Ghost.
No, Holy Ghost is different. Father in heaven is different. Holy Ghost is different. The Son is different. They are three different things. Or they are not same. Like we worship all great people, no? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa we all worship, right? Same way Christ is. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is like God for all of us. You see, like we have Andal Mandir, we are having the class. Andal is goddess. But Andal is who? Individual, no? Correct. We know her birth, where she lived, what she did. We know all those things, history, that is. Same way, the Father in heaven is different. I'll explain, remember this. Huh? Keep this in mind. How Vedanta sees that. Okay. Good question. Just kids only ask questions, this. And then we don't know what to answer. You see, avatar concept, God himself takes the form and comes to serve the world, to do something in the world, whatever it is. Avatar. These two are not a very problematic concept. The third one, the moment I say all of you will get, that one thing we should not have, sir. What is that? Which exists only in India or only in Hindu religion. Doesn't exist in any other religion. For that one idea, we are absolutely criticized. If at all we have one of the biggest criticism against Hinduism, means this is the only one criticism we have. One of the biggest. What is that? Huh? Idol worship everybody has. Christ is there, no? Buddha idol is there, no? Mahavira idol is there. Idol worship is not the big criticism of us. Even we ourselves criticize. What is it? Huh? Huh? Caste is correct. Caste, sir. This Varna Ashrama. But the first problem is Varna is not caste. That's a blunder. Translation problem. You see, Jati is called a caste. You see that? Jati is a different word. Varna is a different word. They are two different words. The problem we have in English is that we do not have a equivalent word for Varna, because literally Varna means what? Varna means color. For English people, the problem is what? The moment they use the word color, they get into trouble. You're all with me? They are in trouble actually. So what to do now? They easily used the word Jati and Varna as synonymous terms. You see, synonymous terms, which is not true. They are not synonymous terms. You see, like king, monarch, emperor, these are all synonymous terms. Even though emperor is different, monarch is different, king is different. But still, you can use these three words as similar terms. Same way, these people started using these two words also as similar one. They clubbed these two things and made it as one word in English called caste, and that is wrong. That's where the problem started. Now, one concept we saw, and what is interesting about Bhagavad Gita is, Bhagavad Gita touches all these three concepts. No other scripture touches these three most unique and complicated idea. We have so much of spiritual texts we have. Nowhere what is an avatar, why that avatar happens was never explicitly stated. Only in the Gita we have that. Because in the Gita, as Krishna was explaining the things, he says, Arjuna, this knowledge what I am giving you is not something new I am telling you. This is being taught to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. And who taught this knowledge to Vivaswan? I am the one who taught to Vivaswan. You may not know who is Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku and all that. Okay. It's exactly like if I were to tell you people, what I am teaching you here is the same thing that I taught to Newton. I taught the same thing to Kalidasa. And Kalidasa taught that to Bhavabudhi. Right? Obviously, all of you will be wondering what? Hey, we don't know what is your exact age, but we could gauge you must be what? Some age? Right? All of you must be having some guess, no? How old he must be? Right? Whatever the age is, okay? 50-year-old, he'll say. Right? We'll take a median. I'm not going to tell you what's my age, huh? 50. Shakespeare, Kalidasa, you taught this to Kalidasa? How is it possible? Because your birth is now. His birth was then. How can you claim that you taught this? Is what Arjuna asks in the 4th chapter. You are born now. Right? Because I told you in the beginning, Arjuna and Krishna were of same age. 1 year elder to Arjuna is Bhima, 1 year elder to Bhima is Yudhishthira. So every time when Krishna comes to meet these Pandavas, Krishna will do prostration to Yudhishthira first. Then Krishna will do prostration to Bhima. Then he will go and hug Arjuna. After that, this Nakula and Sakadeva will come and prostrate to Krishna. You see their system, beautiful way they were maintaining that, clean system actually. Any time he meets, Krishna will do prostration to Yudhishthira. It's an unbelievable one. For many people, they don't understand that. Because when you meet an elderly person, that's what you are supposed to do. Right? So, Arjuna and Krishna were same age. So, obviously, Arjuna gets confused. He says, hey, you are my friend. You have the liberty to talk some nonsense. But not to this extent of claiming that you taught this to Vivaswan. Vivaswan means the sun god. And God is Vivaswan. Right? His son is Manu. Right? His son is Ikshvaku. He became the first king in the world. Ikshvaku. Rama belongs to that parampara. Ikshvaku parampara. Rama. You see, so how can you be the teacher because your birth is now, his birth is then? How can you claim, man? That is a time Krishna explains this Avatara Rahasya. What is this portion? This portion, first few verses of the 4th chapter is where he explains. Look here, man. All of us take birth. Right? Everybody takes birth. Mr. Krishna had a birth date and a death date. I repeat, Mr. Krishna. That's how we have Krishna Jayanti, no? Krishna Jayanti is celebrated for what? Birth of Krishna. Correct? And then all of us know Krishna was shot by an arrow and he died. So there is a death also. Correct? Krishna has a birth. Krishna as a person has a death. That is exactly how we all have, no? All of us have got birth date. Okay, yet to have the death date. Right? That's the only thing. There are people who are already gone. There are people who are going. Waiting list. Anytime we may get our ticket confirmed. But the booking has been done already. Right? Booking is done. Who is going to get that confirmation? We have no clue. Like railway tickets. We have no idea. Booking we have done, so we are waiting. That's what he says. Gata sona gata sumche anusochanti panditaha. Gone and the going. Knowledgeable people don't cry for the gone and the going. Difference is what? One set of fellows gone, another set of people are going. So, we are also having a birth date, we are also having a death date. Similarly, Rama had a birth, Rama had a death. Krishna had a birth, Krishna had a death. Means appeared and disappeared. Okay, instead of putting it as birth, death and all that, you may feel uncomfortable. Appeared, disappeared. All the avatars have got their own appearance, disappearance. Appearance, disappearance. Appearance, arrival, departure. Arrival, departure. Now, what is the difference between you and me arriving vis-a-vis Avatara Purusha arrival? You see that? That's the first thing. He says, I have also taken many births, says Krishna. Arjuna, you have taken many births. I have also taken many births. But only difference is, I know all my birth. You don't know. That is the only difference between you and me. I repeat. Krishna says, I have also taken many births. You also have taken many births. I told you people, knowledge is always given from known to the unknown. Okay. So first thing, Arjuna is attacking Krishna. Hey, you are born now. How can you teach? So first thing he says is what? I have also taken many births, you also taken many births. Oh, which means amongst one of your birth you have spoken. Makes sense. He will understand that and get satisfied first. That's a preliminary level of satisfaction. Right? But then that doesn't solve the issue. You see, that's not a complete answer. That is just a initial answer. First we appease the student. Because he is confused. Arjuna is confused. How genuinely, you can't blame him. It's a legitimate question. So first thing Krishna says is, yes, I have also taken many births, you also taken many births. Only difference between you and me is that I remember all of them, you don't remember, which means you have forgotten. So first thing we understand is what? Avatara Purusha also need not be just one. They can take any birth. Right. Why is it that he is able to remember, we forget? What is that? Which means there is a difference, right? We are forgetting, he is remembering, which means the entire process of taking birth should be different. Right. So two things we have to see now. First thing is, what is the process of that birth? In what way that birth is different from our births? 1. 2. After taking birth, is he going to do something different from all of us? Imagine both of us are going to do the same thing. There's no big difference there. You see, because he is someone who is very, very special and unique. So, first question we ask here, say, sir, what is it that is going to make him to take birth? Before going to him taking birth, let us figure out what is making us take birth. So if we know, this is easy, correct? Because it is known area. His birth is unknown, but our birth is known, no. Whose birthday you are celebrating? Your birthday. If your birthday you are celebrating means, does any one of you remember your birth? All of us have taken birth, correct? All of us were celebrating our birthday, right? But then none of us remember our birth only. Can I say, because you are not remembering your birth, you are not born? Not possible. Because you are there. But then do you remember? You don't remember your own birth. First idea you should keep in mind is this: I don't remember my birth. Somebody told me and brainwashed me to believe that I was born on that particular date. Correct? Is there any logical way of finding out? We cannot say, I have to take my newspaper. Newspaper also can be printed. It's for the fake one, no? Isn't it? A fake paper, the person could have taken a print and keep showing, or maybe it is photoshopped. That's a date of your birth. You don't remember. Right? Which means, since we are not able to remember and there is no means of knowing what is before that, what happened before that, how that has happened, is not in our purview to investigate. Because any knowledge we have to gain, we need a means to gain that knowledge. If you want to know the taste of something, how do you know a taste of a dish? You have to put it in your mouth. Modaka, I give. Modaka is almond. Modaka I give. Modaka is a sweet, right? Right. Modaka is sweet. You take that modaka, keep in front of you, see that modaka and tell me whether it is sweet or salt or spicy. Can you? No. Can you take it close to your mouth? Can you tell me? Can you tell me? If you lick the modaka, can you tell me what is that? Because when you lick it, what is the taste you will get? Salty, little salt you will experience. Correct? Otherwise it is bland, nothing, tasteless. But the moment you put that full modaka in your mouth and bite, suddenly you experience what? Wow, so sweet, no? Correct? So, if you want to know the color of an object, I keep a piece of cloth and ask you, what is the color of this piece of cloth? How can you tell me that? Only method is what? Seeing. Correct? Means eyes. You cannot touch that and tell me what is the color. You cannot smell that and tell me what is the color. You're all with me? This is the fundamental aspect to learn. Which means, for every piece of knowledge, there is a pramana, we say. Pramana means the right means to know that. For example, to know the color of an object, eye is the pramana. To know the taste of an object, tongue is the pramana. Okay. Now, when my eye is saying the color of this object is yellow, can my tongue come and say, yeah, you are correct, yellow? Or can my tongue come and tell me, no, that's not yellow, that's blue? Will you accept? What is known through a pramana can neither be validated by another pramana or invalidated by another pramana. First point all of us should remember is this. First point is, any piece of knowledge to know, there has to be a means of knowing, which is called a pramana. Knowledge can be gained only through a particular means, a pramana. Without a pramana, there is no way that you can have any knowledge in the world. Now, what is known by one pramana cannot be validated or rejected by another means of knowledge, another pramana. And what can be known by that pramana, that piece of knowledge, should be known only by that piece of knowledge. It cannot be known by any other means. Only then it becomes a pramana. All of you following me? Clear, no? To know the color, the only means is what? Eye. One eye may say this is blue, another eye may say ultraviolet, but doesn't matter. Any color you want to know, you need eye. Full stop. You can never know something by nose. Color can never be known by nose. So, if you have to gain the knowledge of color of an object, you need eyes. If you have to have the knowledge of the taste, you need tongue. Now I am asking you, what is the means through which you will know what is freedom? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Which one you will use now? You see that? Many dimensions in life we know not by perception alone. Many things we understand by inference. isn't it? When you hear that sound, you straight away understand what? There are birds. This is parrot. This is not a peacock. You see that? Immediately you will say what? Parrot, sir. What type of parrot? Is it green or multi? That we don't know. But then we say what? This is. How do you know that? Did you see? No. You heard the sound, but then you understood what? It is a parrot. Isn't it? Similarly, when you see a vehicle passing by, from the sound of that vehicle, you understand whether it is a truck or is it a bus, is it a car, is it a two-wheeler. You are able to understand, right? All that. You didn't see it, but you understood. How? That's called inference. Like in Shastra, they give a beautiful example. At a distance, when you see a cloud of smoke, you understand what? There must be fire. Isn't it? You saw cloud, but you understood what? The fire. That's called inference. The first one is called direct perception, pratyaksha pramana, known as pratyaksha pramana. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Pratyaksha, direct perception. Next one is called anumana pramana, inferential conclusions. You infer. Certain things we understand by comparison, isn't it? Chhatrapati Shivaji fought with the Mughals like a tiger. We understand what? How, with what ferocity the tiger attacks. You know, when the tigers get wounded, it becomes more ferocious. You know, tigers. All other animals, when they get wounded, they lose their intensity of attacking. But tiger has a unique nature. When it gets wounded, it becomes more ferocious. It attacks. And the manner in which the tiger attacks is so soft. I don't know whether you have ever seen the tiger's claws. Amazing. It is so soft. Maybe you can see that. Kittens, cats, you can see, you can, similar one. That's what this Kenneth Anderson, the man who wrote this book called this Man-Eater. The Man-Eater. From there only, R.K. Narayan picked up this title. Man-Eater, Malgudi, one of the stories of R.K. Narayan. You know that? It's one of that. Malgudi Days and all is very popular. This is not a very popular one actually. It's not as well known, but it's a beautiful one that is also. There, Kenneth Anderson writes about the tiger. He lived here only, this Bandipur side, lived here. He used to hunt these man-eaters. The tigers start killing human beings. Then he would go and hunt that. He has to wait to find out how that man-eater comes. And he says, tiger, which average size of the jungle tiger is about 300 pounds. 300 pounds thing jumps from the tree branch and lands on the ground. 300 pounds, can imagine. It's jumping and falling and landing on the ground. He says, the noise it makes is like that of dropping of a pillow. You drop a pillow, what's the sound you get? It lands like that. Amazing it is. What size, what thing it has, lands like that, he says. The cushion, no noise. You can't, you miss means you missed. That's it. He says, now Chhatrapati Shivaji is like that. the first one to have this gorilla attack. You'll never know where they are actually. His army, you'll never know where they are. Suddenly you see, them coming, all the sides and attacking. My God, what a strategy. Fascinating one. This is a comparison. Tiger. Chhatrapati Shivaji fought with Mughals like a tiger. When we say these are the points. But then there is a problem in that. You know what the problem is? This comparison. Upamana. Do you mean to say that Chhatrapati Shivaji had a tail? The tigers have tail, no? You mean to say Chhatrapati Shivaji had stripes on his back? Huh? What are you talking, man? This is how we miss the point. You see, this is the problem when it comes to gaining knowledge through comparison. This comparison will help you to gain about unknown Chhatrapati Shivaji. But then, that comparison that I am giving has a very limited application. Remember, in any comparison, there is only 1 or 2 points are comparable. If you stretch that comparison beyond that point, it breaks. Exactly like when a boy says, my beloved's face is like a moon. It's like a moon. You mean to say pimple face? Huh? You see the point? It gets into absurdity. Every 15 days blackout. Because moon goes blackout every 15 days. It looks absurd, you see. Now it cannot, if you stretch it beyond a point, it breaks the very concept. It gets into absurdities. That's why Upamana is very effective provided we stick to the frame. If you take it beyond that frame, it collapses. Right? We have seen 3 things. Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana and Upamana Pramana. Not Upma. Okay. Upamana, that is. Upamana is comparison. Now the problem is, before birth what happened? Which Pramana we can use now? Pratyaksha? Inference? Can you infer and understand? Not possible. Comparison? Which is the comparison point there? There is no comparison also. You are all with me? Wherever these 3 known means, of course there are few other pramanas are there. I am not going into the details of all that. These 3 are the most popular ones. Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana and Upamana Pramana. When these 3 pramanas fail to give us a knowledge about something, we have no other option to move to the 4th Pramana. That is called Shabda Pramana. Shabda means sound, right? Or Shruti Pramana or Agama Pramana. There are different terms they use. You see, Shabda Pramana is the most popular one. Shabda is statement. Like, you go to somebody's house, right? You want to switch on that fan. You say, I want the fan to be on. I need to know where the switch is, right? So the person sitting in that house, that fellow says, go to that switchboard, 3rd switch on. What I do? I go there, 3rd switch, from left to right or right to left. I'll go there, stand and ask him. I'll switch. Invariably, I go and switch the wrong thing. I look, it's not on. Day, not that one. 3rd from the left. Oh, switch on. Then the fan is on. Now, I got the knowledge of which switch to be on. How? Pratyaksha? No. Inference? No. Comparison? No. How? That fellow told me, I just followed that. Because there is no other way for me to know which switch. Isn't it? That is called a Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana means the statements, the Vakyas given by the Shastra. The Shastras give us the statements. Whatever they say, we have to take those things as a authority. That's called what we call as Apta Vakya. Shabda means Apta Vakya. Apta means the qualified people's statement. You see, what is the impact of the war on the gold price? Because generally when war happens, the gold prices increase. Suddenly now we are seeing the gold prices are coming down. Who should talk about it? Ishwaran or an economist? Who should speak about it? Imagine, he is a great actor here. He is an Oscar award, actor he is. He is explaining about what is the relationship between war and gold price. Will you take it? Anybody making that statement will not be taken, please. That's why it is called, any Shabda is not treated as a Pramana. Only the Apta Vakya. Are you qualified to speak on that subject? Number one. Number two, I should not have any other means available for me to get that knowledge. Now, regarding that Avtara, when we ourselves do not know our own birth, what is the only means we have to know about the birth of an avatar? Whatever they say, we have to take it. That doesn't mean it has to be a blind acceptance. You follow? If it is a blind acceptance, then you will take even the person who has got the national award for acting, talking about the gold price, you should accept. That's called blind faith. Sir, he is an economist. May not be the world number one economist. He may not be a Nobel laureate, but he is a known economist. He has studied economics. The one who has studied economics talk about it. The one who has studied about engineering talks about it. The one who has not studied anything about these things talks about that. Because I have studied Bhagavad Gita, can I talk about that? No. You are not an authority on that field. Same way, if I am not having any other means, these are the conditions, remember. Pratyaksha not available, Anumana not available, Upamana not available. So when they say there is Swarga, Naraka, can you infer? You can't. Can you compare? You cannot. So the only means we have is what? Pratyaksha not there, Anumana not there, Upamana not there, Shabda is the only option we have. Now we take that Shabda statement and say, what is the difference between our birth and his birth? The difference is this, he says. Our birth have been taken because of our karma. Right? By the force of that karma we have to take birth. Whereas his birth is not out of karma, it is out of his willpower, out of his choice. That's what he says, Janma karma chame divyam. The one who knows the divine nature of my birth, he gets liberated. How? Because he says, first thing is, We take birth. The Jiva takes birth. His birth is because of what? Is because of a karma that we have accumulated. That accumulated karma needs to be exhausted. To exhaust that karma, to experience that karma, you need a body and you need an environment. 10 more minutes I will explain. Okay? I know you are all tired. Right? Follow me very carefully now. I am just using karma and all these things. But then, what does it mean? Karma, vasana, desire, kama, all these are all synonymous terms. Okay? Now, I am replacing the word karma with desire, which is easy to understand now. Right? Now, I am having a great desire. Example only, okay? I have a great desire to have a Mercedes Benz. Okay. Honda City is boring. You know, boring it is. I got so used to it. So I thought I should have this Mercedes Benz. I have that desire. Now I sit. Okay. I visualize. I imagine that I am having a Mercedes Benz. Can anybody stop me from that? Nobody is going to stop me from that. I can sit, keep on thinking what? I am owning a Mercedes Benz, I am driving that Mercedes Benz. My Mercedes Benz alone has an exclusive rights to drive on this Mysore-Bangalore Express Highway more than 120. I can go even 200 km speed, no camera will catch. You know, entire world has given me that exclusive rights. All this is happening where? Where? In my thought. Okay? We are having this thought, 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 having this thought. Will I be satisfied? Huh? Will I be satisfied? No. When will I be satisfied? Only when I am actually having a Mercedes Benz. And that also not my student's car. It should be in my name. One day a fellow mason, like, one of my students in Bangalore, he's having, this, what is that car that? A big one like. Fellow. Rolls Royce. I was staying in a, big apartment. Not now, earlier, staying in about, 550, high-rise building, all. The only unemployed fellow there is myself. You see, because I am the only one who will go to gym, I will go to the spa, I will sit there, I will do this. Everything I am using, I have hardly seen anybody else there. Only I will be there. Exclusively we are enjoying all that because unemployed fellow. Rest are all, running, morning 7 o'clock, you will see the going, night 9:30, they all come back and then they go for this one, nothing, no problems. And everybody is wondering what this fellow is doing, Suddenly he will come like this, suddenly he will go like that, what? Somebody, I am having this. One day, I had to go and pick up Swamiji from the airport. So he was coming for the lecture series, so I went to pick him up. So I saw this guy having this car. I said, hey, what are you doing with this car? Give that car to me. I'll go and pick up Swamiji in that car. Because, Swamiji has a fascination for cars and all that. So I said, I'll surprise Swamiji with, Rolls Royce. So, first question, what he asked? I told him, first you come to my house, pick up from me, and then we'll go to the airport together. First thing he was asking me was, sir, can this car enter your road? Question number 1. Question number 2, do you have parking? I said, don't worry here, enough parking is there. So I asked this fellow to come, and the moment the Rolls Royce entered, that building, suddenly the whole building woke up. I said, what? Rolls Royce has come, Rolls Royce has come. And then, casually I got down, and then I went there. That fellow, saluted me, and he opened the door, and I sit in the car, and then, I told him, exit is just round. I told him, no, not this way, go around, so that everybody will see. So the car was going, and everybody was seeing me, Rolls Royce, you are going, my God. It's not my car, right? Imagine for one day, one travel, I went in that Rolls Royce. Next day onwards, you must see that security fellows. Everybody saluting, and even unknown people there in that apartment and all is coming and talking to me. What are you, how are you, sir? What do you do, by the way? I wanted to know. I teach Bhagavad Gita. He saw that car. Yeah, it's my student's car, he just sent me that car. How much begging I had to do to that fellow to get that car, only I know. But then actually he said, that will not satisfy. Imagine I own that Rolls Royce. Remember, any amount of mentally thinking, dreaming, even in my dream, I could have owned that car also. But still, will I be satisfied? No. Only when I bring it to the physical reality. Remember, for all of us, experience gets validated only when it happens at the physical realm. Because at the thought realm, any one of us can have any desire, any thought. But then the satisfaction of that, the fulfillment of that, according to all of us, happens only when it comes to the physical world. Which means, for all our desires, we necessarily require a physical. You're all with me? That desires is what we have entertained in the past, is what is known as karma. Don't think as whatever we are doing. Now most of us think karma means doing. No. Karma means whatever thought that you have entertained. Most of us think, karma means I did this, I did that, I said that. No. It is, action is not the reference point. It is the thought behind that action is the reference point for karma. Law of karma operates on the thought or the intent. Law of the land happens through the deed, not the thought. If I had a thought of burgling a bank, you can't put me behind bars. Is it not? Can you? You can't file a case on me. Oh, Ishwaran had a thought of burgling a bank. No. Even if you see me with the plan, still you cannot. Unless I actually do it. For law of karma, you have entertained the thought, no. Taken it. You will be rewarded for the thought that you have entertained. You will be penalized for the thought that you have entertained. That reward and the penalty both has to happen how? Physical. Okay, for all of us. Whereas this Avatara Purusha, if you see, they do not entertain any thought. Right? They don't have any desire. That's a Sthita Prajna. Right? A Sthita Prajna is one who has renounced all thoughts. There is no thought in him at all. There is no desire in him at all, or in her. No desires. Now, when they are not having any desire, they take birth not because of the past desires, the past karma forcing them. They take birth out of their own choice, willpower. That's why as soon as Hiranyakashipu got his boon, The Devas go to Vishnu. Ask him, oh, this fellow has taken so much of things. He says, don't worry. In future, his son will come. Prahalada will be born. That Prahalada he will torture. At that time, that fellow will call me. When he calls, I will come. He is making a choice. Can you choose? Too much, all these things. Okay, I will ask you only one question and leave you. Can you choose what to dream tonight? Can you decide what dream you should have tonight when you go to sleep? That's called karma. You see, whatever dream comes. You can't choose your dreams. Whereas he can or she can choose her. Whoever can do that is an avatar. Okay. Don't think it is only Rama, Krishna, Narasimha and all these things, please. Anyone who can take birth out of their will. Then we ask the next question, for what he has to? He says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya. What is the reason? The reason is Dharma samsthapana. How paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Sadhu means what? Sadhu means righteous people. To protect the righteous people. First of all, the question is, does a righteous person seek protection? Will he need protection? Will he ask for protection? Please come and take care of me. The righteous fellow will say, if you want anything, I will protect you, man. Righteous person will not ask for protection. Unrighteous fellow is the one who will always ask for what? Protection. Now what does Krishna say? Paritranaya sadhu. See, we don't think, therefore, since we are not questioning, all these statements we take for granted. Oh, yeah, Krishna has stated very clearly. What is it, sir? Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Very, very popular verse. Those who don't know Bhagavad Gita also know that. What is that? To protect the... Does a righteous person ask the protection first of all? Unasked will he go? Unasked if he comes, will it be validated, valued? But then Krishna says what? I come, I take birth to protect the virtuous. Very clear statement. Not only that, he makes the negative statement also, not only positive statement. Vinashayasya dushkrita. He says, I am going to do. Vinasha means, Nasha means destruction. Vinasha means complete destruction. He says, superlative like. Finish them off like. Chop them off. That's how I come. That's the reason for which I come, he says. Now we wonder, first of all, righteous people don't require. If you have to establish dharma, why are you protecting the righteous when the righteous people are not asking for protection? This is the purpose. Now we saw the cause. The cause is, for all of us, it is karma. For him, it is free will. For us, it is desire, force. For us, it is maya. For him, it is wielding maya. For all of us, you will find, policeman standing around a person. Correct. For a criminal also, there will be police around. For a dignitary also, there will be police around. You see that? Both the same, police will be there. What is the difference, sir? The first one is, he is not protecting that fellow. He is protecting the whole world from that fellow. From the criminal. From the terrorist. Whereas, for a dignitary, there is a police protection given for important people. For him, the police around is a bhushana. Right? But for that fellow is a arrest. Same way, Maya is around us, Maya is there. Maya for all of us is what? Like the police around the criminal. For him, Maya is what? Maya is his servant. If the dignitary controls the police, the security guards, whereas this fellow cannot do that, please. He is under them. Similarly, all of us are under the influence of Maya. He is above that Maya. That's why he says, through my Yoga Maya, using that Yoga Maya, I have created this entire thing. And I make my own decision of what sort of birth I have to take. Okay? After taking birth, what you do? He puts a twist there. He says, Paritranaya sadhunam. We will see that in the next class. What he means by Paritranaya. Because righteous people doesn't require protection, first of all. I can't understand that. Because no devotee has ever gone to the God and say, please take care of me, please take care of my family, please take care. Nothing they do. They say what? Whatever you do, man. I don't care. Right? That's how they lived. Now, we see here Krishna saying, I come only to do that job, which is a. Does it mean? What is his meaning there? That's where we need to understand the term righteous. What is he meaning there? I'll give you 1 week. Think about it. Right? We'll see that in the next class. Right? Thank you. And just for the information, tomorrow we are having this lectures